Good evening and welcome to Undaunted, bringing into the news untold stories. I am Star Smart. Let's begin. It's another Monday, and the people of Southern Cameroon have proven to be very united when it comes to achieving the independence of homeland. The united energy exhibited by the people of Southern Cameroon is a clear message to the detractors of the fight for the liberation of Southern Cameroon that their efforts are rendered futile. Monday Goes Down is one of the most successful moves instituted in 2017, showing resistance to the recolonization of the Southern Cameroons by La Republic's oppressive regime. To give the Monday Goes Down the respect due to it, the people of Southern Cameroons have changed their way of life when it comes to Mondays. They have embraced sports as an activity to keep them busy, united, and of course, fit. The joy the peoples of Southern Cameroons express in welcoming Monday is a clear indication that on the path to the liberation of Southern Cameroons, there is no turning back. While Southern Cameroon's Amazonia tries to free itself from the shackles of La Republique, more genocidal acts continue to be perpetrated by La Republique. More massacre continues against the innocent population in Amazonia. These, amongst others, will bring more details to only in the full briefings of Undaunted tonight. Coming up right after the prime headlines.
Let's see the headlines for today. Today is another Monday, Ghost Out Monday in Amazonia. Now, La Republic de Cameroon's court punishes those not in possession of a national identity card. And Amazonia arrested and tortured to near death by La Republic de Cameroon gendarmes. That's not all. Colonial occupier La Republic de Cameroon military slaughters 5 more innocent denizens in a corner of Fako County. And on the foreign scene, Ukraine to receive 2 German Iris T-Slim air defense system in a few months. And in sports, Man City confirms captain will join Barcelona on free transfer. Now let's get the news in detail.
Our vision in this interim government is to make ABC a leader and a real warhorse of our struggle. We want to grow it, expand it, hire and train more hands, and broadcast round the clock, around the world, and take command of the media space of this world.
You can enjoy all round the clock, 24/7 exclusive moments of bliss as an ABC Amba TV Club member. A cappella. Latest Nigerian stroke African movies, global politics, ABC Amba News and updates, historical documentaries, and lots more. In our daily programs, we have Undaunted, ABC Amba News, bringing into the news untold stories with Onyi Okpala and Star Smart. Exclusive discussion, revolutionary panel conversation, infotainment, edutainment, intro governmental debates on topical issues with Tar Paddy King, State of the Liberation Movement, Fronting IG and People of Ambazonia's Position, the Struggles Weekly Update with Secretary Martin Mungwa, PhD, FASCE, Health is Wealth, Health Education and Awareness within the Ambazonian Community with Dr. Yaya, Liberation Prayer, an intercessory ministry for Ambazonia with Pastor Victor Mba. Our freedom, spiritual awareness, and education for the Ambazonian community with Pastor Victor Mba and Pastor Commando. Church and politics, neutralizing the myths and preconceived religious and political philosophies that limit the Christian involvement in the realms of decent politics with Pastor Commando. The Horizon, the voice of the Ambazonian woman with Dr. Patience Abiedo and Lady Casey. Our Amber history, bringing to limelight the hidden history of Ambazonia to the world with Pastor Commando. Appointment on community building, education on patriotism within the Ambazonian communities with Ma Rachel Itatima. Ethics for an Emerging Nation, watchdog of basic principles and morals of a nation at war with Ma Dorothy Ngwa. Upcoming programs: Pigeon News, Vernacular Talk Show, County Roots, Activists Corner, Amba Focus, only on ABC Amba Television. We the people, the voice of the voiceless. For 24/7 access, subscribe as a club member on www.abcambatv.com/subscribe.
Well, it is not to be debated any longer that the people of Ambazonia have accepted the Monday Ghost Town fully. Visiting the streets in Ambazonia, nothing but ghosts are in charge. Monday, June 26th, in Bamenda in particular, and the entire Ambazonia observed the Monday lockdown. Why such a united force in respect of Monday's ghost town? Simple, the love for the interim government. This is where we'll start today. How are you doing, sir?
Very well, Ongi. Good evening, Ambazonians. Monday, June 26, today, 2023, is another ghost town with the same steam as the previous ones. Shops and all Larry public run offices are closed in respect of the interim government's declared ghost towns. Curiously, the respect of the Monday ghost town is not only an affair of the people of Ambazonia, but for all who are in Ambazonia. All La Republic du Cameroon run offices in Ambazonia are locked on Mondays. Even La Republic is acknowledging the fact that powers have changed hands. The million-dollar question is, why are these BS surrogates not packing out passively from Ambazonia? Must they propagate the killings and suffering from the international community before backing out?
Well, Undaunted visited the town of Bamenda to have the feeling of how the town was faring. The ghost town was effective with all shops locked and no commercial mobility or any means available. Away from the streets, Undaunted entered the quarters just to see the people of Southern Cameroon's Ambazonia celebrating themselves with some sport activities. The message is clear, and La Republic de Cameroon should read the handwriting on the wall that the entire Ambazonian has resolved to do what is right and observe the Monday lockdown.
Now, Monday, June today, is another ghost town with the same steam as other ghost towns. The respect of the Monday ghost towns is not only an affair that concerns the people of Amazonia, but also for every other person in Amazonia, being a La Republic as well. All the offices run by La Republic in Amazonia today as well obey the lockdown because they are locked. Even La Republic acknowledged the fact of who has the power in Amazonia.
The million-dollar question is, why are these surrogates not packing out passively from Amazonia? Must they propagate all the killings or suffer pressure from the international committee or community before packing out? Undaunted visited the town of Bamenda to have the feeling of how they were, and of course, the ghost town was effective with all shops locked and no commercial mobility available.
Well, away from the streets, Undaunted got into the quarters just to see the people of southern Cameroon's Amazonia celebrating themselves with sporting activities. The message is clear, and the Republic can read the handwriting on the wall that the entire Amazonia has resolved to frustrate all La Republic run activities through Monday Ghost Towns.
All right, moving on. The question we are asking is not having the national identity card enough reason to be punished by the firing squad? Now, this question is very pertinent because everyone is asking this question. Amazonian legal minds have also challenged with this question since Sunday, 25th of June, when yet another innocent Amazonian denizen fell victim in the hands of a trigger-happy, heartless, and lawless colonial La Republic du Cameroon murderers who call themselves soldiers at Three Corners, Fiango, in Kumba local government area, just coming on the heels, the further bloodbath at Ekona and Babanki. An Ambazonia is asked to present an identity card or identification paper, and for the simple fact that he could not present it instantly, well, he faced the barrel of the gun, and of course, that killed him. Was he a wanted criminal? Is the first question, but simply because he is an Ambazonia.
Well, the three-corner Fiango sad incident is not the first, and unfortunately might not be the last. La Republic colonial administrators have described Amazonians with their own words as cats, rats, cockroaches, and dogs. And this incident is not an isolated incident because Amazonians are lower than game and targeted for elimination with their wildlife law. There is game that is endangered and protected better than Amazonian human lives. Many Amazonians have lost their lives, some just for responding at a colonial La Republic police, army, or gendarmerie checkpoints in English, some killed because of their dressing code. We've reported this of the Chelsea wearing blue and hairstyle, and you can name the rest. So many atrocities perpetrated against the peoples of Amazonia. The three-corner Fiango Kumba local government area incident is just one in a series of many of the gradual elimination of Amazonians by the La Republic's surrogates to take over Amazonia because more is done silently with the media. If people are killed for farming, they are assaulted for not having an ID card. I mean, even killed for not having an ID card. It's obvious there is no value for the lives of Amazonians. What can we hope for?
All right, to this effect, Dr. Mungwa has dropped a note, a warning, an information that will definitely interest every one of us. All right, so let's get the audio of Dr. Martin Mungwa.
Alert, alert, alert. This is Dr. Martin Mungwa, Secretary of State for Communication and IT for the interim government. Dear ARF, dear Ambazonians, this is the mouthpiece of the interim government. And I come here for giving a few facts for make sure so all we know the direction where the interim government is taking. The interim government today will not be any different from the government where Foncha Endele Ojua lead them in the 60s. And I want to let me understand, say the counties we will get on today is an expansion of the 6 plebiscite districts of 1961. So there is nothing new. And therefore, I urge every individual or groups or stakeholders say the only way we will fight this independence now for join with LGA and nothing else. Not going to conferences, not having secret meetings here and there. It's not going to work. I think history don't prove for we. Say without us standing and defending ourselves, no way will La Republique will ever sit down for table for Tabuwe. Frundi, with all the charm and with all the claim, say you will negotiate with La Republique, what did not happen 30 years on, nothing, and they keep promising. So more we eye clean, say these people then they only hear now when we hold gun to point them for them. And therefore, I urge everybody, say when I get for follow the instructions for the interim government because we be the principal for this conflict. And for those where they feel say they'll get their 10 seconds of fame and for kill on people, I feel reassured. Say the court system from Bazonia will take care of them once we get independence. They know go free. They know we'll go free. I want to tell them this. Now, a promise. Send the no go free. One more time, I'd like to congratulate Ambazonians for the faith and the trust in the interim government. And I also want to congratulate our wonderful ARF. We don't prove, said to be ready for defend our people. We are at war. We want to remember, we be at war. And the only way we feel proof a la Republic, say the only solution for comfortable and for proof to them say we feel defend ourselves. And they'll be unable for carry any of the genocidal missions the way they plan on. So stay calm and listen to the interim government. We are on the right track. Thank you and have a blessed day.
All right, stay clear and listen to the interim government. We are definitely on the right track. And moving on, young Ambazonian from Nkambe local government area DMC arrested and tortured to death by Colonial Law Republic of Cameroon gendarmes for unfounded suspicion of transporting a bomb. Majun Henry, worker of the Nso Boys travel agency in Obili neighborhood in the colonial headquarters of Yaoundé, was abducted and tortured to near death by elements of the Colonial Republic of Cameroon gendarmes at BMRC Yaoundé on the 6th of June 2023 by four gendarmerie officers of the Premier Region de Gendarmerie Nationale Yaoundé and taken to their headquarters, which opposite the National Assembly.
Well, human rights lawyer barrister Amungwa Tanyi Nicodemus, in an alarm, said Manjong was tortured to a near death and subjected to inhumane treatment while in the hands of bloodthirsty gendarmes at the headquarters, where they tied him to a mango tree and tortured him with machetes, cables, and other hard objects that damaged his left eye. The deadly torture were in an attempt to force statements out of him. The four Barbary colonial gendarmerie officers were joined by their colleagues who tortured him continuously for 2 days on allegations that a luggage was dispatched from Nsoboy's travel agency Bamenda to Nsoboy's travel agency Yaoundé containing a bomb, wherein they alleged he communicated with someone or someone communicated with him about the said luggage.
Well, after his inhumane torture by officers of La Region, they discovered that he was about to die and they rushed him to Service Central Research Judiciaries on the June 8th, where he was detained till June 23rd, 2023. This only happened because of 3 weeks of intense intervention mounted on the authorities by barrister Amungwa Tanyi Nicodemus. Now, note must be taken that the management of the gendarmes abandoned him in detention and did not assist him in any way. This is exactly how the young man, or young men in general, are tortured to death on a regular basis. They are left with no other option than to flee homeland. We are currently dealing with extortions, killings, maiming, and lawful arrest of harmless civilians, and we must say this is terribly sad.
Well, according to the human rights lawyer, he said, I filed complaints against the four unidentified gendarmerie officers to the Secretary of State of the National Gendarmerie, SED, the commander of Premier Region Yaoundé, the Military Tribunal Yaoundé, and the Intelligence Service of the National Gendarmerie, hoping that they will open investigation in order to bring the perpetrators to book. Now, this was said by the human rights lawyer Manjong, who's currently being hospitalized, is yet to get justice.
Well, moving on, reports reaching Undaunted ABC Amber TV have confirmed that the Colonial Republic of Cameroon military had suffered a severe defeat from the hands of the ARFs, the Mountain Lions of Fakal County, led by General Sagat on that fateful Saturday morning of June 23rd, where the occupier enemy forces lost both human and material resources. The Mountain Lions of Fako killed a lot of soldiers and wounded many, carrying away 6 AK-47s, which they harvested from these La Republic de Cameroon soldiers at Mbundo Palm Plantation Estate, and a lot of things happened.
Now, the Colonial La Republic Boy Scouts, otherwise called soldiers, unable to face the ARF's mountain irons, vented their anger on innocent civilians, which led to the deaths of some five civilians and several houses. It has been burned to ashes by this same military at a Kona Muyuka local government area. Mayuko local government area has been one of the fiercest spots in the ongoing Amazonian War of Independence. The conflict, which started in 2016, has claimed over 50,000 lives, with millions in dire need of humanitarian assistance, over a million in exile, and thousands in jail. The question is, killing innocent civilians just because you couldn't beat the ARFs, is it the right thing to do? On the war in Sudan, Sudan's paramilitary rapid support forces, the RSF, said it had seized the main base of a heavily armed police unit on Sunday as it sought an edge in its war with the army during heavy fighting in the capital, Khartoum. The RSF, in a statement, said it had taken full control of the large base belonging to the Central Reserve Police Southern Khartoum and posted footage of its fighters celebrating inside the facility, some removing boxes of ammunition from a warehouse. The letter said it had captured 160 pickup trucks, 75 armored personnel carriers, and 27 tanks. Well, information we got was not immediately able to verify the footage or the RSF statement. There was no immediate comment from the army or the police. Since late Saturday, fighting has surged in the three cities that make up the wider capital, Khartoum, Bari, and Umdurman, as the conflict between the army and the RSF entered its 11th week.
Witnesses also reported a sharp increase in violence in recent days in Nyala, the largest city in the western Darfur region. The UN raised the alarm on Saturday over ethnic targeting and the killing of people from the Masalit community in El Janina in West Darfur. Khartoum and El Janina have been worst affected by the war, although last week tensions and clashes escalated in other parts of Darfur in the Kordofan in the south. Fighting has intensified since a series of ceasefire deals agreed are talks led by the United States and Saudi Arabia in Jeddah, which failed to stick. The talks were adjourned till next week.
Now, the Central Reserve Police has been deployed by the Army in ground fighting in recent weeks. It had previously been used as a combat force in several regions and to confront protesters demonstrating against a coup in 2021. It was sanctioned last year by the United States, accused of using excessive force against protesters. The army, led by Abdel Fattah al Burhan, has been using airstrikes and heavy artillery to try to dislodge the RSF, led by Mohammed Hamdan Dagalo, known as Hemeti, from neighborhoods across the capital. Since the early morning in North Omdurman, we've had airstrikes and artillery bombardment and RSF anti-aircraft fire, says a 47-year-old resident Mohammed Al-Samanti. Where are the Jada talks? Why did the world leave us to die alone in Burhan and Hemedti war?
Well, Eniala, a city that grew rapidly as people were displaced during the earlier conflicts to spread in Darfur after 2003. Witnesses reported a marked deterioration in the security situation over the past few days with violent clashes in residential neighborhoods. A human rights monitor said at least 25 civilians had been killed in Yala since Tuesday. Well, in Sela Hamon's voice, he says, today I left Yala because of the war. Yesterday, there was a bombardment in the streets and the bullets going into homes. Well, there was also fighting between the army and the RSF last week around El Fasher, capital of North Darfur, which the UN says is as inaccessible to the humanitarian workers. In El Janina, which has been almost entirely cut off from communications, networks, and aid supplies in recent weeks, attacks by Arab militias and the RSF have sent tens of thousands fleeing over the border to Chad.
UN human rights spokesperson Ravina Shamdasani on Saturday called for safe passage for people fleeing El Janina and access for aid workers following reports of summary executions between the city and the border and persistent hate speech, including calls to kill the mass elite or expel them. Of those uprooted by the conflict in Sudan, nearly 2 million have been displaced internally and almost 600,000 have fled to neighboring countries, according to the International Organization for Migration.
And on the horizon, Ukraine to receive two German Iris TSLM air defense systems in 2023, and Germany to hand over four more air defense systems in 2024. On the other hand, the bank created specifically for the BRICS is running into debt. A report says it will need the dollar to be able to fund its goals.
Ironic. The Ukrainian armed forces will receive six German Iris-T SLM medium-range surface-to-air missile system by the end of next year. Brigadier General Christian Frudin has made a statement to this effect. Now, here's what we need to know. Ukraine received its first Iris-T SLM air defense system in 2022. At the beginning of 2020, Germany handed over another anti-aircraft missile system. By the end of 2024, their number will quadruple.
Well, Christian Frudin said that Germany will transfer two Iris-T SLM air defense systems to Ukraine by the end of this year. The other four air defense systems will be delivered during next year. Well, it should be added that Germany has also decided to arm itself with the Iris-T SLM system. The government recently approved the purchase of six surface-to-air missile systems, which is worth around $1 billion, and has already signed a contract with Delhi.
Now, meanwhile, regarding the BRICS summit, the China Development Bank launched the new development bank, the NDB, with BRICS to challenge the US dollar. The NDB is now facing trouble lending new loans as the bank is running out of fresh funds. The bank, which is headquartered at a posh skyscraper in Shanghai, is now dependent on other countries to raise finances. The new development bank needs funds in the US dollar to repay its debt, according to a recent examination of its finances with the bankers.
So, what this means, therefore, is that the BRICS Bank, which was built to challenge the US dollar, now needs the dollar to repay its debts. Russia's invasion of Ukraine added to its woes as several countries stopped taking loans from the NDB. Right after Russia waged war against Ukraine in 2022, the bank immediately froze lending to Russia. NDB has to comply with Western sanctions as no other country came forward to do business with a BRICS bank. Well, let's see what the future holds for the BRICS summit after now. Right after the break, we'll bring you the editorial.
In tonight's editorial, we'll take a look at an article on Kemi Asho's by Juan Atso Atsi, an Amazonian pro-independent campaigner writing from city of Adelaide, Australia, titled The Kejom Keku Massacre for the attention of Amazonian traditional rulers, friends, and sympathizers of Amazonia. As we continue to mourn the massacre of over a dozen Amazonian citizens in Kejom Keku, Big Babanki, Tuba local government area in Nezam County by La Republic du Cameroon's military under the instrumentalization of occultic Cameroon People's Democratic Movement CPDM members in and outside Yaoundé, using the fund of Kejum Keku, Fund Benjamin Vutsibong as the facilitator of their macabre project, let the world know these killings had been planned and the execution phase began on 19th May 2023. Having programmed the massacre of their enemies in Kejum Keku, the occultic CPDM elites, under the supervision and direction of those in Yaoundé, contracted their suffering mothers in Kejum Keku to protest against exorbitant taxes allegedly imposed by Amazonian boys on 19 May 2023. It should be noted that the nation of Amazonia was observing a 3-day lockdown called by the interim government of the Federal Republic of Amazonia against the celebration and commemoration of Fête de l'Unité Nationale, which in effect is a day the southern Cameroon state was finally dissolved and observed in La République du Cameroon. In like manner, the CPDM elites contracted Amba boys in Cajun, Keku, to arrest these women, videotaped them in a dehumanizing and humiliating manner, so as to undermine and possibly render the Amazonian liberation struggle most ruthless. As it is the modus operandi of La République du Cameroon, this act was conceived to whip up sentiments and sympathies for the Cameroon junta from national and international systems, as well as give ammunition to enemies of the restoration of the state of Amazonia, a voice to go after the interim government and the Amazonian restoration forces. In a surprising move, which was absolutely uncalled for, in the name of expressing anger against the Amba boys, Fon Benjamin Vutsibong of Kejum Keku invited the Cameroon's military to build a military camp in his village. Within 3 days after the invitation from Fon Benjamin Vutsibong, the BA military descended in Kejum Keku, indiscriminately killing everyone who they could find. A quarterhead whose name we are still to lay hands on, whom Fon Benjamin Vutsibong had instructed in an audio message to assist the Cameroon military in locating the whereabouts of an alleged ARF so as to be killed, was also killed. We are told the quarterhead was among the over a dozen others killed because he refused to do what the Fon wanted him to do. This notion of forceful tax collection is the brainchild of Cho Ayaba, Capo Daniel, and their group called the AGUP-C and ADF. These individuals in their group have never been heard or seen battling the enemy, La République, since they started collecting taxes in Mogamo local government area over the years. Paradoxically, they are known to be fighting and killing Amazonians. Their forceful tax drive is meant to discourage the already suffering population, hoping that they would turn their back against the struggle. Seeing the disdain the people of Amazonia had against the tax new issue, the CPDM occultic elites contracted both the Kejum Cake women and the Amba boys to play the 19th May 2023 movie, whose consequences are still witnessing today. Intriguingly, Cho Ayaba Capo Daniel and their group are known for covertly and overtly working for the enemy. A few weeks ago, Capo Daniel, in one of his daily podcasts, said the only fighter they had in Fako was allegedly killed by his frenemy, Cho Ayaba. When La République Cameroon's Development Corporation Mondoni workers on 10th of February 2023, Capo Daniel came out to claim that they did it. Who then did it when Capo Daniel stated that the only fighter was killed by his frenemy, Cho Ayaba? Whether Ayaba is against the vice versa Capo, Amazonians know them as birds of same feather, pretentiously flocking together in different directions but stealthily working towards Yaoundé. After these killings in Kejum Keku, has the CPDM occultic elites who instrumentalized the fun of Kejum Keku achieved? Have they achieved their objective? Do they know that they are helping the Bulubeti junta to depopulate their communities? And to the Fonds and Chiefs of Amazonia, if they did not know, they should know that they are the custodians of traditional values of their various communities. We know La République du Cameroon consider them auxiliaries to their administration, and as such, they are being given peanuts. A Fon chief is the responsibility of his people. So let the Fon reign in his village and avoid listening and dancing to the tune of La République du Cameroon. And some fawns and chiefs reign in their villages. As a matter of fact, Kejumkeku, Guzang, Ekondo Titi, or Bambalang existed before the coming into Amazonia of the Portuguese, Germans, and British. At no time did these colonialists interfere with the running of these communities. How come a fawn would invite merciless killers into his community to kill his people? As it is customary with the tradition of Amazonia, the fawn or chief is the umbrella of the good, the bad, and the ugly. How come the good people of Kejun Keku allowed occultic individuals under the payroll of the Yaoundé junta to manipulate them into killing their own? The lesson all Ambazonians and friends of Ambazonia should learn is that La Republic du Cameroon, after failing to defeat Ambazonian restoration forces, they had hopes to do so in 2 months, have now resulted in the killings of unarmed and innocent civilians, which are war crimes, genocidal crimes, crimes against humanity. This massacre in Kejum Kiku is one too many, since Mr. Paul Biya declared war on Amazonians on 30th November 2017. The massacre of mostly young Amazonians is intended to depopulate the peoples of Amazonia. Let it be known that the mission of the beer military in Amazonia is not about protecting lives, properties, and restoring peace, but trying to exterminate Amazonians so as to have unperturbed access to their natural resources. If they were to succeed, they would import their people to replace Amazonians. Unfortunately, those assisting Cameroon to annihilate the people do not know that they are unconsciously opening their shores for Cameroonese to come and take over their villages. On the whole, any traditional ruler who wants to forfeit their customary role in the village should simply pack, go, and naturalize as a Cameroonese and settle in Cameroon. The founder of Unso, Sheb Mbinglo II, has repeatedly said, one is at home wherever he resides. Thus, the founder of Unso is very much at home in Yaoundé, as it has become his new home. Whether Cameroon is two and indivisible or one and indivisible is not the business of any traditional ruler. The traditional ruler is supposed to reign within the territorial boundaries of his fondom or chiefdom. He is not a politician. He is enthroned to reign over his people and his village. Well, our writer Juan Atso Atse ends by saying, at the fullness of time, all those who have assisted Yaoundé to kill Amazonians will be brought to book. A word is good enough for those who value wise counseling. And with that, we've come to the end of this well-needed article by Juan Atso Atse and the end of our editorial for tonight. If you want more of such articles, kindly visit our website at www.abcambertv.com for more. Subscribe, become a club member, and a part of this winning strategy. Find out payment details on your screen. I am Star Smart reporting for Undaunted ABC Amber TV.
All right, thank you, Steph, for that editorial. Now, let's get to sports. And in sports, Manchester City have confirmed captain Ike Gudon will leave their club and join Barcelona on a free transfer. Gundogan was offered a new contract by City, but will instead move to the Spanish champions on a 2-year deal. Now Gab Ellison has more, and in tennis as well.
Latest world sports. Football. Ilkay Gundogan, Man City confirmed captain, will join Barcelona on free transfer. Manchester City have confirmed captain Ilkay Gundogan will leave the club and join Barcelona on a free transfer. Gundogan was offered a new contract by City, but will instead move to the Spanish champions on a 2-year deal. The German midfielder, whose City contract expires at the end of June, said it had been a total privilege and pleasure to play for the club. Manchester has been my home and I have felt part of a very special family at City, Gundogan added in a statement. The 32-year-old played 51 games in 2022-2023, scoring 11 goals as he played a key role in City winning the treble. He scored 6 goals in his final 7 games, including a double in the 2-1 FA Cup final win over Manchester United. Gundogan's contract with Barcelona has a buyout clause of 400 million euros. He joined City from Borussia Dortmund for a reported 20 million pounds in 2016 and was manager Pep Guardiola's first signing for the club. Gundogan went on to make 304 appearances, scoring 60 goals, and won 12 major trophies, 5 Premier League titles, 1 Champions League, 2 FA Cups, and 4 Carabao Cups. He said he had experienced hundreds of unforgettable moments with City, and captaining the side to the treble was the greatest experience of his career. First, I would like to thank Pep. To have been able to play under and learn from him for so long has been something I will never forget. I would also like to thank all my teammates, past and present, who have all played such a special part in making my time here so amazing. Furthermore, I would like to thank the incredible City fans. They have supported me from the moment I arrived, and I owe them all so much for their support. City Director Chiki Begaristan praised Gundogan's intelligence, leadership, and commitment to the club and said those qualities had been an inspiration for everyone. Ilkay has truly cemented his place in the history of Manchester City, and we all wish him well in the next chapter of his career, said Begaristan, and he leaves us knowing that he will always be welcome at his football club. Gundogan's departure follows City agreeing a deal worth up to £30 million with Chelsea to sign Croatian midfielder Mateo Kovacic. Formula 1. Ryan Reynolds and Rob McElhenney, part of group taking 24% equity stake in F1 team. Wrexham Football Club owners Ryan Reynolds and Rob McElhenney are part of an investor group taking a 24% equity stake in Formula 1 team Alpine. Alpine's parent company, Renault, announced on Monday the 2 Hollywood actors are investing alongside Otro Capital and Redbird Capital Partners. The €200 million deal values Alpine Racing, which is based in Britain, at about £706 million. Alpine are 5th in this year's F1 Constructors' Championship. Reynolds and McElhenney completed their takeover at Wrexham in 2021, and the Welsh club were promoted back to the Football League after a 15-year absence when they won the National League title in April. U.S. investment firm Redbird is an investor in Fenway Sports Group, the owner of Premier League side Liverpool and the Boston Red Sox baseball team. Redbird bought Italian Serie A club AC Milan in August 2022 in a €1.2 billion deal and also has a controlling stake in French Ligue 1 side Toulouse. Alpine Chief Executive Laurent Rossi said, "This association is an important step to enhance our performance at all levels." Rossi added, "The investment would boost the FA team's media profile, which in turn would support Alpine's performance over the long term." Tennis. Carlos Alcaraz set to reclaim world #1 spot after winning first ever grass title at Queens. Carlos Alcaraz is set to reclaim the world #1 spot from Novak Djokovic after winning his first ever grass court title at Queens in London today. The 20-year-old Spaniard defeated Australia's Alex de Minaur 6-4, 6-4 in an hour and 39 minutes to claim his 5th title of the season and boost his credentials on grass ahead of Wimbledon next month, which he will now begin as the top men's seed. "It means a lot to have my name on the trophy," Alcaraz said in his on-court interview afterwards. "I've watched this tournament since I started playing tennis. It has been really special for me to play here. So many legends have won here. Seeing my name on the trophy, seeing my name surrounded by the great champions, for me is amazing." Alcaraz proved the more clinical, breaking his opponent at both possible attempts, while de Minaur was unable to convert either of his breakpoint opportunities. Playing at Queens for the first time, and in only his third ever grass court tournament, Alcaraz lost just 1 set all week. It marks a comeback of sorts after he crashed out the French Open in the semi-finals against Djokovic, his challenge to the 23-time Grand Slam champion crumbling when he suffered from cramp. Djokovic moved into the world number one spot after winning the French Open, but will begin Wimbledon, the tournament for which he is the heavy favorite. As a second seed, being the number one, the top seed in such a great event as Wimbledon, for me, it's amazing. Alcaraz said afterwards, I started the tournament not very well. I had to adapt my movement a little bit on grass. Alcaraz reached the fourth round at Wimbledon in 2022, where he was defeated in 4 sets by Jannik Sinner, but he has won his first Grand Slam at the US Open in the intervening year since. Gab Ellison reporting from Undaunted, ABC Amba News.
All right, thank you so much, Gab Ellison, for that sports report. And with that, we've come to the end of Undaunted tonight. But before we go, let's take a look at our major stories.
On Undaunted tonight, we brought to you another ghosted Monday today in Amazonia. And La Republic du Cameroon squad punishes those not in possession of a national identity card. We also brought to you an Amazonian who was arrested and tortured to a near-death experience by La Republic gendarmes.
We told you tonight that colonial occupier La Republic du Cameroon military slaughtered 5 more innocent denizens in Ekona Fako County. And on the foreign scene, we told you that TMA defense system in a few months. While in sports, Man City confirms captain will join Barcelona on free transfer. And that was it for tonight on Undaunted, bringing you the news on George Stories. On behalf of Star Smart and the entire Undaunted crew, we say thank you for tuning in.
We'll leave you with ABC Amber TV images. Good night and God bless you.